from Honda.
Hello again. So, Marks and Spencer, it appears, are finally learning that there is one thing more important than anything else in life, and that's the customer. Now, you may well think that this is so much of a truism it's not worth mentioning, but apparently not. Despite all the marketing, the databases and the loyalty cards, few are the number of companies who are really close to the people who in the end pay the bills and provide the profits. Well, with me in the studio is the author of this book called Information Masters: Secrets of the Consumer Race, John McKean, and of course our own mistress of marketing, if I may call her that again, Alison Stewart Allen. John, first of all, why don't these loyalty schemes work? Because, I mean, they have worked in this country with companies like Tesco's and so on. What greater touch can they have on, should companies have on their customers?
I think the problem is that many loyalty schemes are mostly based on incentive rather than insight. And I think in order to get beyond the short-term incentive loyalty scheme, what I call that is Pavlovian loyalty, which is essentially you are ringing a bell and expecting the customer to be loyal, and once you hold back that incentive, the customer decides to go somewhere else.
Okay, so lots of companies have got customer databases. They know bits about their customers. I'm just going to quote you something from your book which I didn't quite understand, and you will. I'd just like you to explain, because this seems to be fairly crucial. You say companies have invested over 80% of their customer information investments in technology, despite the evidence which shows that technology only determines 10% of a firm's ability to apply its customer information. Well, is this, what does that mean? Because that seems to me central to what you're trying to say.
Yeah, Michael, what it is essentially we've looked at technology and we said, okay, I'm going to write the check and we're going to get this brilliant new technology and bring it in and assume that's going to create a broad information competency for our business. But what we found out is that unless you invest in the non-technological aspects of applying the information, that is your people skills, your processes, your organizational structure, your culture, your leadership, and your information itself, you're only going to get a get a fraction of the value out of your technology, and a fraction of the value out of your customer initiative.
So you're saying to companies, you must react immediately, you must know your customers intimately, and must react immediately to their needs. How on earth do you do that?
You build in ways to create the information throughout the service chain and the environment. So not only are you trying to collect information when you sell something, but also when you service them, when you build them, and try and create that whole linkage throughout the entire interaction process.
Have you seen any examples of what he's talking about, Alison?
Well, there's a number of them, and I'll give you one example. Let's say Sainsbury's or any grocery store where you have your loyalty card. They know what you buy every week. They happen to know on what day of the week you buy it and the regularity of your purchases. Wouldn't it be nice if, and this sort of leads me now towards the kind of entertainment experience economy, which is yet another tool in the kit bag of the marketer, as well as obviously how well you use data. If I got a phone call on Wednesday that says, hello, you were just in on Saturday, you buy a pint of milk every Saturday, you also buy one every Wednesday, well, it's now Wednesday, you're due for a pint, would you like us to deliver it? And I think this is fantastic. They've used information about me, they're offering me a value-added service I'm prepared to actually pay for, and they understand what I'm about.
Is this the sort of thing that you're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there was one, we had the chap in from CD Now in once, you know, the internet set. He said something very interesting. He decided to form that company when he went into a music store and said, I want to buy some Beethoven, and they said, it's over there. As he was walking over there, he realised what they should have said is, it's over there, and if you like Beethoven, you might like Schubert as well. That's right. This is what we're talking about, isn't it?
That's right. It's understanding also the linkages between products. What they call it is market basket. Essentially, if you sell one product, then you'll know there's a high likelihood that the other product will sell.
Is this this sounds so detailed and so complicated that would it not cost companies millions of pounds to actually use?
What you need to do is let the technology handle the details, but then make sure all the other parts. I mean, you could have brilliant details about information, but unless you have the culture to apply it, you're not going to be successful.
And we're seeing something else in this country as well, because we're seeing one experience adding to another experience.
Absolutely.
We're adding entertainment adding to shopping as well,
Absolutely.
which is sort of along those lines. Not quite this sort of detail. That's
but
interesting
it's related. What we're finding is marketers are challenged now more than ever before. They have much more fragmentation in their markets, in their media choices, and they need to reach people however they can. One way is to track data about them, and market to them. Another is to leave them with a feeling of, oh, that was fantastic. I will always go to that retailer or that shop or that center because that was a great experience. Let me give you an example. Most retail developments now have cinemas and multiplexes and themed food courts, places you can park the kids for hours and shop, etc. That is all part of the experience of the brand of the shopping center, for example, or the retail concept. So the more you leave with a feeling of that was great, the more likely you are to come back, to stay longer, to spend more, and that's what it's about.
You would have thought that I don't want to bang any more nails in the coffin than the rest of it, but you would have thought that Marks and Spencer's might have used their database, which they clearly must have, a lot better. That could have got them close to their customers, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think maybe they need to evolve further into the information age and take a look at a more sophisticated approach to how they understand their customers in terms of interactions and what products they actually use.
John Allison, we're running out of time, but thanks so much indeed for joining us.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Now, hundreds of truckers created chaos on Britain's busiest road today, the London Orbital Car Park, as it's better known. The truckers crawled around the M20